I'm Kristen, and welcome to Amiens house. Today we are talking about scapes. I'm out here in the garlic patch. This is my daughter's garlic patch. This is her business, and so we have planted this garlic in October, and we have 1,000 bulbs in the ground, and now it's time to break off the scapes. Scapes are the flower-like projection that comes up from we have a nice weed here, from the garlic. It comes up in hardneck garlic, it comes up and it curls, and when it's at this point, it's time to break it off. The reason we break garlic scapes off is because then the plant doesn't put all its energy into making the flower or the bulbets, which kind of look like seeds. It puts the energy back into the garlic bulb, so we get a better, bigger garlic bulb. So that's what I'm going to be doing this morning. And Mackenzie's going to be joining me. She's just picking mulberries at the moment, and then she's going to come and help. Welcome to the kitchen. We have our scapes that we picked from the garden, and now it's time to process them. So what I'm going to do is make garlic pesto, which is basically just the garlic scapes, Parmesan cheese, oil, and pine nuts. I don't use a recipe. I just throw in the scapes whole. Just throw them all in once they've been rinsed, and then I add oil to make it more of a paste. Add the Parmesan cheese and the pine nuts until the taste is kind of dampened down, and then I just throw it in bags and freeze it. Pesto with the garlic scapes is really, really strong, so expect that strong flavor. You're not going to dampen down the flavor too much with the cheese and the pine nuts. You will a little bit, but it's still going to be very sharp. Freezing it supposedly helps with that, and we did find that last year when we used the pesto that was made from the garlic scapes, that we actually didn't notice that it was any different than our regular pesto. The second way that I'm trying for the first time this year is dehydrating the scapes. You can see that they've been in there. They have 2 more hours to go, and then the idea is that I can grind them all up and there'll be a garlic powder. So I'll let you know how that goes. This is the curly part of the scape. So what did I do with the straight part? So as you can see, the scape has this straight part and then the curly part. So this whole curly part I used and cut up and put in the dehydrator. But what am I gonna do now with this straight part? I'm gonna cut them up and I'm gonna try and can them as dilly beans, or dilly scape sticks, I guess is what they're gonna be called. So you use the same recipe that you would use for garlic beans, or dilly beans if you wanna call them, or dill pickles, pretty similar brine. You put them in the jars and then can in a water bath, or however you can your beans. So that's what I'm going to do with the curly part and the straight part, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. the powder totally worked. So I dehydrated it, and then I tried it in a blender. The blender didn't work. I tried it in a pestle and mortar, and that was going to take me my life to make it into a powder. And then I was looking up that someone said use a coffee grinder. Well, we don't have a coffee grinder. And I was looking at the blade of the coffee grinder, and it matches the NutriBullet blade, and we got powder. And I'm so pumped about this powder. It is strong, and it's going to be awesome in our food. One more thing, we opt out from buying at the grocery store. If you decide that you do not want to use the scapes in the kitchen and eat them, make sure that you dispose of them correctly. Each one of those little balbettes is like a seed, and there are hundreds of them. So you will end up with garlic everywhere if you do not dispose of them correctly. Do not put them in your compost. Either throw them out or burn them is what my dad would have recommended we do. Now we use them to eat, so we don't throw them out. We do save some of them, the balbettes, so that we can increase our stock the following year. So it'll take 2 years before you get a full garlic bulb with many cloves in it. So you would plant that little seed in the ground. The first year you will pull it up, it'll just probably be one large clove. You set it aside and plant it again. The next year you will have a beautiful bulb of many cloves of garlic. So that's another alternative you can do with the balbettes.